Yes. And now let us concentrate about the poem Snake Trying. So in this poem, the poet has seen a snake, and in order to escape from its attack, what he did, he has thrown a log of wood or a piece of stick over it. And the snake would, what it would do? It would definitely try to escape the pursuing stick, the stick which is following it. And snake went into the water, into the reeds of the wall, in the grass, and it camouflages with the surrounding. Camouflages means it merges. Okay? Yes? Glides. It glides means jumps, it moves away, right? And it mixes with the surrounding. So, the poet wants to deliver the message here that all the living creatures, they have an equal right to live in this earth. Even human beings, they are trying to kill snakes whenever they see, they try to solve them. But we as human beings must follow the policy of live and let live. We should not consider that all snakes are poisonous. Rather, what we should do, we should also allow them to live their life on their own. It is not like that, that whenever we see a snake, what we should do, that we should throw a stick over it and try to kill them. All the snakes, all the creatures, they have an equal right to live in on this earth. And never try to kill the snakes also, because like other creatures, they are also part of this earth. Okay, so very simple poem. So here I would like to add a context to the poem Snake, written by D.H. Lawrence. The poem was in the syllabus of class 10, the previous syllabus, okay, not this one. Like, you know, for past 3 to 4 years, 1 or 2 years, the syllabus has been changed. The same idea is being followed here in this poem. In that poem Snake, D.H. Lawrence has mentioned that during hot weather in the month of July, where he was living in Sicily, which is an island in Japan, where there are intense hot weather. And what he has seen, he has come out of his room in order to fill a jug of water with the flowing water of the tap. But what he has seen that a snake was drinking water from the trough, which was filled with water and was lying on the side. The first idea that hit the poet D.H. Lawrence was that he should throw a stick over the snake and should kill it. But it means that his voice of knowledge, okay, was telling him to kill the snake. Why he was trying to kill the snake? Because ultimately the same idea, his voice of knowledge, according to his knowledge which he has read in books, was that snakes are poisonous in nature and he should kill the snake. But the second idea, the second moment, he treated the snake as a guest. His first idea was to throw a stick. He even took a piece of wood also and has thrown over the snake. But the snake, what happened? Immediately it wriggles, okay, and has moved into the wall, into the small opening which was available in the nearby wall, and it is lost forever. But when the snake was wriggling into that small space in the wall, the idea came out that he was repenting over his act. He was thinking that why he was killing the snake. Has the snake done any harm to him? No. Then why? He has come just to quench his thirst in his house, and he thought that the snake has come to drink water in this hot weather, and he should have treated him as a guest. So the same kind of idea is being presented here in the poem, right? The snake trying. It means that the poet, to have seen the snake, he was trying to kill the snake. Why? Because he thought that snakes are poisonous. He has even thrown a stick of wood at the snake. But the snake, it wriggles, it hurriedly moves by its wriggling movements and has gone into the grass. It has gone into the water nearby, and it has been lost forever. Right? Okay, so it means that we should come out of the setup ideas that snakes are always poisonous in nature. Snakes never attack until and unless they attack for their own protection. Okay, they attack only because of their own protection, but not because to kill any human being. But human beings, who is one of the dangerous animal in on this earth, okay, he is always killing other animals just of the fear, whether that animal, that creature has made any attack or not. This is the second idea that comes to him. First is the fear that the other animal would attack me. This is the reason in their protection. Okay, in order to save themselves, they are making an attack and finally killing the animals. And mostly snakes are the victims. Okay, so coming up to the poem, page number is 125. Most of us think of snakes as fearsome symbols of death, but the snake in this poem is itself a victim. So yes, this is also an important question. After the poem, I will ask you, is the snake in this poem is a victim or a threat? Okay, this we are going to read. So it is made clear by the poet here, by this underlined line here, that here the snake is a victim. Yes, here goes the poem. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick. Yes, it means that the poet, it is first of all, remember the name of the poet, W.W.E. Ross. Here I want you to focus upon this pursuing stick. Yes, it means that the poet has seen a snake, and because he thought that the snakes are poisonous, so what he has done, he has picked up a piece of wood or a stick nearby and was trying to throw it over the snake in order to make an attack. So here pursuing stick is a transferred epithet. Can anybody tell me what is transferred epithet? I have told you number of times. Yes. What is transferred epithet? Yes, of course it's an adjective. It is mostly used, adjective, used mostly with the noun, but.
Describe.
Yes, yes, Bisam?
To describe its main quality.
To describe its main quality, but mainly, it is not referring to the noun with which it is used, with which it is not referring to the noun with which it is used. See here, pursuing stick. Pursuing means following stick. But this pursuing stick is used with stick, but it is not referring. Pursuing doesn't refer to stick. What it refers to? No. Pursuing किसको pursue कर रहा है? Snake. So it is referring to snake. So first is it is used with the noun. Yes, stick is a noun. But it is not referring to the noun with which it is used. Stick के साथ used है, but it is not referring to stick. It is referring to snake. That's why the name is transferred. Name is transferred. That it is transferring in its meaning. Okay, transferred epithet. Okay. So the literary device is transferred epithet. No rhyme scheme is there in this poem. Yes, the snake trying to escape the pursuing stick. It means that the poet has seen a snake and overcome by the idea that the snakes are poisonous in nature, and he has thrown a piece of stick, and this pursuing stick, the snake is trying to escape this pursuing stick with sudden curvings of thin long body. So what is the appearance of the snake? It is long and thin. It is immediately moving its in curve. It is immediately showing curved movements, wriggling. Okay. And how beautiful and graceful are his shapes. The poet is glorifying the beauty of the snake. It means that in fear also he is displaying the beauty of snake, that how beautiful the snake is looking in these curving movements, because its body is long and thin. He glides. Glides means he was moving through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide. Reed means the small opening. Okay. And the snake is immediately moving into the water nearby. Okay. And it is moving, it is hiding in the small openings that are available on the sides without hurt. And it means this has made clear that the snake was not hit by the stick, without hurt. It means that the snake has gone into the reeds. Small and green, he is harmless. So here is C, he is harmless. There is prominent sound of repetition of H. So which literary device? Alliteration, right? So this is alliteration. So it has gone into the reeds. It is small in size and green in color. And it is harmless even to children. It is not even harmful for children. It is harmless to children also. Along the sand he lay unobserved. Along the sand means while laying its body on the sand, it looks, you can say, beautiful, and it remains unobserved. Why? Because it is camouflaged with the surroundings. It has mixed its color, its outer body color is completely mixed with the surroundings and chased away. And chased away means nobody is able to chase it, to follow it. And now he vanishes in the ripples. Ripples means wavy movements over the water, among the green slim reeds. And finally the snake has gone into the green reeds of grass that was present, and it has mixed with that color of the grass and the sand and was unable to be notified. Okay. So the same idea that the snake was attacked by the poet because it is harmful, but the snake, it escapes because of its curving as well as agile movements into the reeds, and was not killed by the poet. Right? So the message that the poet wants to deliver here is that the snakes are harmless creatures. We as human beings should not think that all the snakes are harmful. Rather, should consider them as one of the creatures, one of the inhabitants of this planet, who has an equal right to live on this earth. And just focusing on the point that they attack human beings, we should not kill them, but should think that they only attack human beings or kill human beings in their self-protection. Right? Clear? Everything is clear? Any student who is having any problem? Now, coming up to the question answers, first of all, textual questions. The first question is, 1 minute, 2 students have raised up the hand. Yes, Princey? Yes. The first question is, what is the snake trying to escape from? Yes, what is the snake trying to escape from? Yes. Yes, the snake is trying to escape the pursuing stick, which the poet has picked up in order to attack the snake, because he thought that snake is harmful in nature, or the snake is poisonous. Right? Next question, is it a harmful snake, and what is its color? Is it a harmful snake? No.
No.
It's not a harmful snake, and as it is mentioned in the poem, it is harmless even for children. Okay, as it is green in color and is living in water, so it is not harmful. Next question. The poet finds the snake beautiful. Find the words he uses to convey beauty. Yes. How he explain the beauty of the snake?
How beautiful and graceful are his shapes.
Yes, how beautiful and graceful are its shapes. Long, thin. Okay, right? So these.
Small and green.
Okay, fine. Thank you. What does the poet wish for the snake? What does the poet wish for the snake? Yes, the poet wishes, as it is mentioned in the poem, oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. It means that the poet does not want the snake to be hurt. It must have gone into the reeds in order to escape the attack. Next question. Where was the snake before anyone saw it and chased it away? Yes, where was the snake? Okay, it was hidden in the sand because its body color was completely matching with the surroundings and nobody was able to distinguish the snake from the sand. And when it is chased away, where does the snake disappear? Yes, it has gone into the
Ripples, little weed.
the green slim reeds. In the grass, there are small openings under the, you can say, thin reeds of grass, and it has gone under those reeds and was never be attacked. Okay. So, the first extra question, what write down please? What do you learn about the person? Question is, what do you learn about the person who is attacking snake? What do you learn about the person who is attacking the snake? What do you learn? Yes, raise up your hand. Who is attacking the snake? Yes. What do you learn from the person who is attacking the snake? Yes,
A
and
person think of snakes as a some symbol of death, but when he realized that it is even harmless to children, he let him go into the ripples
yes,
and hide him among the
good. So the poet or the person who has picked up a stick to attack the snake thought that snakes are poisonous in nature. It shows that he was afraid of the snakes and always considered that all the snakes are poisonous in nature. This is the reason why he has picked up a stick and has thrown over the snake. But later on, he wishes that the snake must have escaped this attack. Next question. No, we can't generalize it in this poem. We can't generalize that all green snakes are not non-poisonous. Yes, yes. We can't generalize because we don't know all the species of snakes. What does the poet mean? What does the poet mean when he says, oh, let him go? Oh, let him go. What does the poet mean when he says, oh, let him go? Yes, the poet means that, oh, let him go. Why? When he says that he wishes that the snake should not be attacked and it must escape this attack, and he has even come to know that all snakes are not poisonous. He wishes that the snake must have escaped this attack. Okay, where did the snake finally go? Yes.
among the green slim.
Okay, where does the snake finally go? Where it has gone? It vanishes into the ripples of water, or it must have gone into the ripples in the reeds, green grass. Okay, that was available in the nearby area the snake must have gone there. Okay. So what is the message of the poem? We should
That snakes are harmless. We as humans
that all snakes are not poisonous in nature, that human beings should not attack snakes, considering that all snakes are harmful in nature. Rather, what we should take into account, that they are also the inhabitants of this earth, they are also the part of this earth, they have an equal right to live on this earth, and just out of fear only we should not assault them, we should not attack them. And without the sense of protection, snakes are never attacking any other creature, right? So yes, what is the message of the poem? So with this the poem is complete, The Snake Trying. Thank you.